Hey, it's Dr. Adam, naturopathic doctor and men's diabetes coach. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest lies in type 2 diabetes and something almost every man I work with struggles to understand at first. And that's carbs are the enemy. You've heard it from your doctor, from diet books, maybe even from some YouTube influencers. Cut the carbs and blood sugar drops, right? Well, sure, but that doesn't mean that carbs are the problem, because the real problem isn't the glucose spike from a high carb meal. It's insulin resistance. And unless you fix the root cause, you'll just keep avoiding foods that you love, things like pizza, without ever actually solving the problem. And who wants that? Who wants a life without pizza? Insulin resistance doesn't start because you had toast last week. It starts years earlier. Low muscle mass, poor sleep, chronic stress, out of whack hormones, and a diet that maybe doesn't match your lifestyle or your energy needs. So it's not a carb problem. It's this gradual breakdown of your metabolic health. And if you don't fix the metabolic system, you'll keep blaming food instead of actually fixing the engine. That's why, before I work with a client, we get on a 45-minute Zoom call, to break down what's keeping them stuck. And without fail, every guy brings up carbs. They say, they eat too many, too often, especially at night, and they can't seem to stop. It feels like their diet is out of their control. But when I explain that the real issue isn't the carbs, it's the cravings for the carbs, and why those cravings happen, it reframes everything. They realize that they've been fighting the wrong battle. Then a couple weeks into the program, they slap on a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor, and now it gets worse. They get obsessed. So every spike becomes a crisis. Every banana, feels like a betrayal to the plan. I'll never forget what pad thai did to my glucose level. Yes, I am also wearing a CGM. But here's the truth. If your metabolism is healthy, you can eat some carbs, a little pasta, a slice of pizza. And yes, your blood sugar goes up and comes back down. No harm done. But if your system is broken, it either stays high or it comes crashing hard back down. And that's when the damage happens. That's when symptoms hit. So things like fatigue and cravings and belly fat and brain fog, and then you're napping at 3 p.m. Those are all signs of carb intolerance from insulin resistance. So think of carbs like water. If the drain is clogged, the sink overflows. But the issue isn't the water, it's the drain. So, call me crazy, but my strategy here is if you fix the drain, the carbs stop being a threat. Because at the end of the day, you're not broken, you're healing. But let's be real, healing doesn't happen by just cutting out carbs alone. That's just turning off the faucet while the sink is still clogged. You need to clear the drain. You need to rebuild the system. And no medication is going to do that for you. This is not a quick fix like a pill. It's a mechanical fix. So hopefully at this point, you're seeing that when it comes to your health, there is no quick fix anyway. You have to work the system until the system starts working for you. So here's how we fix the carb issue. Number one, eat enough throughout the day, especially foods high in protein and fiber. Don't wait until you're starving. Don't mess around with intermittent fasting, pushing yourself to not eat beyond what your body can handle. That's when your willpower fails and you lose control. Suddenly, you're in the pantry digging through your kid's Halloween stash. I've done it. We've all done it. And just a couple weeks ago, I waited too long to eat and then found myself eating a handful of chocolate chips. No shame. Number two, use support when you need it. Supplements like PGX fiber or Low-Carb can be helpful tools to blunt cravings, especially in the early stages of trying to correct this. Number three, stay hydrated, because even mild dehydration can trigger hunger. So sometimes all you need is a glass of water to stay on track and prevent yourself from snacking. Number four, move after meals. A short walk can help gradually flatten blood sugar spikes, especially after dinner, and then improve how your body handled the carbs from the last meal you ate. Again, this isn't magic, it's metabolic mechanics. And I've seen some guys use these strategies to rebuild their carb tolerance in as little as 2 months. Other guys, never, because they never start. They keep blaming carbs, they keep chasing hacks, or they try to cheat code. They stick with the free diet, eating whatever they want, and just use insulin to mop up the mess. But again, that's not healing. That's not reversing. That's just managing decay. As for me, I want to be able to tolerate carbs. I want the option to eat pizza and pasta. It's rare and it has to be gluten-free, which is, a whole nother topic. But the point is, sometimes I don't mind a blood sugar spike, like before a bike ride or during a hunting trip where I need a quick boost of energy. But that's the whole point of rebuilding your system. You have the freedom and flexibility to eat whatever you want. Now, look, I get it. You might be thinking, but my doctor told me to avoid carbs forever. Sure, And that's because cutting carbs does lower blood sugar, but that's short-term symptom control. That's not long-term thinking. It doesn't fix the broken metabolism underneath. Or maybe you're saying, well, low carb actually worked for me. I lost weight, my A1C dropped. And look, that's great. But the real question is, can you sustain it? Not to mention, the goal isn't just to lose weight, it's to lose fat and gain muscle, which is less about what you're not eating and more about what you can eat. So protein. Or maybe you've worn a CGM and you thought, even healthy carbs spike me, like apples or sweet potatoes. Again, yes, that's expected at first. That's insulin resistance. That spike isn't a failure, though. It's feedback. The real test is how quickly your blood sugar recovers, how gradual it returns to your baseline. And if, in my experience, the more you rebuild your metabolic system, the smoother that curve gets. So here's the ultimate choice. Rebuild your metabolism or let it keep breaking down. Either way, the clock's ticking. Subscribe for weekly videos on how to get that done.